Movsar Evloev urgently calls out Bryce Mitchell for featherweight clash. Now, if you know anything about me and anything about this channel, you know I don't want to see this fight. I do not want to see Movsar Evloev versus Bryce Mitchell. It does nothing. It does not do anything. I will continue to keep on saying it. This fight doesn't do anything, guys. It hurts the UFC. It hurts Movsar Evloev. It hurts the future of the UFC featherweight division. Why would Movsar want the fight? Why would Bryce Mitchell want the fight? Why would the UFC want the fight? There's no freaking reason, but they're asking for it. Movsar Evloev urgently calling out Bryce Mitchell to fight in a main event, in a co-main event, whatever the case may be. Why? What is the point? If you look at what I was just looking at, you can zoom in on your phone or whatever you're watching this in, but look at where they're ranked. Bryce Mitchell's at number 9. Movsar Evloev is at number freaking 10. What is this fight going to do for anyone? When has a number 14 versus number 15 fight, when has that done anything? When has a number 5 versus number 6 really had any effect on the division? It doesn't really do anything. Because if Bryce Mitchell wins the fight, what happens? He moves from number 9 to number 8. If Movsar wins, he moves from number 10 to number 8. There's like 1 or 2 rankings they'll move up, or 1 or 2 rankings they'll move down. Nobody's going to move if this fight happens. Nothing is going to happen. What is the point of this fight? When you have a clear fight ahead of you, higher ranked in the featherweight division, as in Chan Sung Jung for Bryce Mitchell, and Calvin Kattar for Movsar Evloev. What do you want with a guy ranked right next to you if you can literally hop over 9, 8, 7, 6, go to number 5? Bryce Mitchell can go to number 6. You can go to number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1. Why are you calling out the guy just one spot above you when you have so many other guys? I haven't heard Movsar call out anyone but Bryce Mitchell, but Arnold Allen. These guys are on winning streaks. These guys are looking to go up in the rankings themselves. Why would you want to fight them? They're way too close in the rankings. They're undefeated prospects like yourself, and you have better ranking fighters. You have Calvin. You have Chan Sung Jung. You have the loser of Yair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega. You have the loser of Holloway versus Volkanovski, but yet you won a freaking Bryce Mitchell fight? What are you doing, Movsar? What are you doing? I say it like almost every single week, because every single week there's some news that comes out there about Evloev versus Bryce Mitchell. They want to do this fight. It's not going to happen. The UFC doesn't want the fight to happen. They're too close in the rankings. It does nothing for the featherweight division. They're both undefeated, so what's that going to do to one of the guys? It's going to dramatically drop their stock in the featherweight division. What is the point of this fight? It's like putting Shavkat Rakhmonov and Khamzat Chimaev when they're both unranked, or when they're both number 14, number 15. That's like doing that fight at like an early stage of both of their careers. Why would you do that? If you can give Khamzat to Gilbert Burns, if you can give Neil Magny for Shavkat Rakhmonov, do the same thing here. Don't make that mistake, because you've already learned. You did it correctly with Khamzat and Shavkat. You put Shavkat against Neil Magny, that's happening later on today, and you put Khamzat Chimaev against Gilbert Burns and Li Jing Liang. You built them up correct. Put them against the veterans of the welterweight division. But what is this fight going to do? Like, it's literally the same thing as putting Shavkat versus Khamzat together. It does nothing. Do what you did with Shavkat and Khamzat and give them steps up, not against each other. Give them some ranked fighters up here. Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett, Yair, Chan Sung Jung. Listen to me, UFC. Listen to me, Movsar Evloev. Listen to me, Bryce Mitchell. Do what is best for the UFC, for the featherweight division, for your careers, and fight someone else. This is not the fight that needs to happen. I'm going to say it one more time. Don't do this damn fight. But put your thoughts down below for the UFC featherweight division. Ciryl Gane explains benefit of of his break since his loss to Francis Ngannou. Now, we already know it's been a while since Ciryl Gane has fought. I mean, his next fight is scheduled against Tai Tuivasa at UFC France. It's going to be a good fight in his home country against a number 3 heavyweight in the world, going to secure his spot at the top of the division. But his last fight was January 22nd. It's been about half of a year since his last fight. And he's just now getting the talks about fighting Tai Tuivasa. It's been a while since Ciryl Gane has previously entered the cage, and that last time that Ciryl Gane entered the cage, he lost. He went out there, looked very good early on, and looked dominant. He was out striking. He was out striking Francis Ngannou, looking amazing on the feet, and then boom. Francis using his size, using his strength to out-muscle and out-strength Ciryl Gane in those later rounds to barely win that very close heavyweight title fight. And since then, Ciryl Gane hasn't really been in the news too much. I mean, he hasn't really been talking. I haven't seen too many interviews with Ciryl Gane. Haven't really seen too much happen. And neither guy's really had too much news about them. I mean, we've heard about Ngannou versus like Stipe trilogy, Ngannou versus John Jones, whatever the case may be, but Ngannou's injured. Ciryl Gane just hasn't really been talking to the news or anything very, very much recently, so I don't know what's happening here. But we have Gane showing some growth. He shows how his mindset towards Ngannou rematch has changed. After he lost to Ngannou, he changed his mindset a little bit. And he's really, really hoping that Ngannou will re-sign with the UFC so he can avenge the loss. Every great UFC fighter, you can't say every, you got Khabib Nurmagomedov, but most UFC fighters have this moment where they barely lose a fight. They get knocked out. They get a close decision loss, and they finally lose for the first ever time. Whether it's in just a random UFC fight, whether it's for the belt, like it was for Ciryl Gane, there's always going to be that moment. But it's good to see that Ciryl Gane, even though he lost, even though it was such a close one, a very, very tough pill to swallow, losing that narrowly for the UFC heavyweight championship of the world, it's good to see Ciryl Gane is still out there saying, I can still go out and beat Francis Ngannou. I want Ngannou to re-sign to the UFC. I want to fight him again. I want to beat him in the rematch. I want to do a trilogy with Ngannou. It's good to see that because he's a young fighter. Sometimes these young fighters, they lose, and then they can never get back up to the peak they were before they had ever lost the fight. They just lose their motivation after losing. But this is a good starting point for Ciryl Gane because he lost and his motivation grew. He's getting stronger. He's getting better as a fighter. He's more motivated to take out Francis Ngannou in a rematch, which is all very good. So what do you guys think about this in the heavyweight division? Do you think Ciryl Gane can finally get back his only loss in the UFC octagon and in MMA in general and come back and beat Francis Ngannou in the UFC heavyweight division? Put your thoughts down below in the comments section. Mackenzie Dern is interested in an interim title fight with Weili Zhang. That would be a great fight, says Mackenzie Dern. Really? You think a Weili Zhang fight makes sense for the women's strawweight division? You think that's going to be a good fight for you? For Weili Zhang, for anyone in the UFC, for the interim belt? What are you smoking, Mackenzie Dern? What are you putting inside your mouth and inhaling on a daily basis to come with the conclusion that a Zhang Weili fight makes any sense at all? This is one of the worst takes I've ever seen in my life. Weili Zhang versus Mackenzie Dern. First off, Mackenzie Dern, if I look at your damn record right now, you're 12-2. That's your entire record. You beat Tisha Torres in a fight a lot of people thought you lost. You beat Nina Ansaroff right there. You beat Verna Jandiroba, Randa Marcos, Hannah Cyphers, and you lost to freaking Amanda Hebus. You lost to Amanda Hebus. You beat a bunch of no names. All right, Verna Jandiroba, not bad, and you lost to Marina Rodriguez, or Rodriguez, however you say the name. What in the world are you saying you deserve a title shot if you lost against the number 9 women's strawweight and the number 3 women's strawweight right there? How in the world does it make sense for you to get a title shot? An interim title shot. I don't even care. An actual title shot, interim. To even get in talks for a Zhang Weili fight makes zero sense. The only thing that really makes sense for you as of right now is, I don't know, like an Amanda Hebus rematch or something like that. Fight someone else. This fight makes zero sense. You literally lost to a girl that's above you in the rankings, that is more deserving of the title fight because she had a really close fight with Carla Esparza. She beat you. An interim title fight with Weili Zhang. Not only is that stupid, But you're not even remembering that you lost a main event dominantly to Marina Rodriguez last year. You lost a dominant decision to Marina Rodriguez. So Marina is going to get that interim title shot with Zhang Weili. Rose Namajunas is going to get that interim title shot with Zhang Weili. Or Zhang Weili is just going to wait it out, and she's going to get a title shot with Carla Esparza. There's no way on earth, out of all of the things that could happen in this women's strawweight division, that any plan of the UFC revolves around Mackenzie Dern versus Weili Zhang for the interim belt. I don't care if you think that's a good fight, it's a great fight. It makes zero sense, man. It makes zero sense. How is this even an article? How are you even saying that? If they do an interim title, I would like to be there. Fight Zhang Weili or whoever it will be. I'm definitely interested in that. I'm ready. I'm talking with Mick Maynard. You're talking to Dana. I'm ready. Whoever it is, I'm ready. My manager, Tim Simpson from Paradigm. I got lots of names to throw out. Yan Xiaonan, Rose Namajunas, Zhang Weili. What are you doing? Interim belts? Oh my God, makes zero sense. What do you guys think about this utter delusion from Mackenzie Dern in the women's strawweight division? Absolutely insane from Mackenzie Dern. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, put your comments down below.